easy to understand and easy to prove. There are some maladies that are peculiar to women, yet husbands have had to go through with them all just as if they were women. Of course, this is not common, as if it would have been a nuisance, as it then would be a nuisance, but the aggregate of cases is surprisingly large. In the milder forms of thought transference, husband and wife were very helpful to each other. The basis of this union of thought and feeling is close regard and close companionship. It is a sweet and blessed thing in after years, when age has made the old people feeble, and each leans upon the other like a staff. Nor is the same exchange of interest and affliction lacking in friends. We know of 2 men who are widowers, who have spent their evenings together for many years, who have grown old together, and who finally moved into the same house in order that they might spend their remaining days in the society of each other. This change was beneficial, as they are now very helpful one to the other, but they boast of the fact that they know each other's minds and wants, and are proud of their ability to serve one another without being asked. 23. There are some teachers who are always ahead of the minds of their pupils, knowing what to expect and what to prepare for in dealing with them. This saves much trouble and misunderstanding. One case that was recently reported was as follows. A teacher had several unruly boys in her class, and they were disposed to lie to her. One day she said, "Smith, where were you yesterday?" "I was at home sick," he said. "No, you were not. You were down at Sager's Pond." This written excuse was made by your big brother Henry. The statement took Smith so much by surprise that he never again attempted to deceive his teacher. On another day she said, "James, why are you not prepared with your arithmetic?" "I had a toothache all last evening and went to bed early and could not do the sums." "That is not true. You were at the cinema and stayed out after it was over until almost midnight, and then slipped into the house and went to bed." These statements were made suddenly and without any preparation or deliberation on the part of the teacher. She gained a great prestige over her school and has become one of the best disciplinaries in that school. She does not deem it wise to let the pupils know by what means she gains her knowledge of their whereabouts, as it might offset some of her success in the management of them. They believe that she knows through others of their doings when not at school, and this convinces them that she is master of the situation. 24. One of the distributors of the Fund of Charity states that he has learned in many cases to discern the genuine sufferer from the pretender, to know who are in the earnest and the professed willingness to work, and who are feigning at an intention to do so. And he makes fewer mistakes than others who treat all alike. He makes this statement: "After 17 years as a distributor of funds and food to the needy, I have come to the conclusion that careless charity is doing great harm, for it is raising up an army of degenerates who will not work as long as they can get their living or much of it without labor. The nation will pay a severe penalty for this indiscriminate charity, and the danger is close at hand. 9 out of 10 of those who are supported by charity will not work, although they pretend they will, and seem anxious to be given work to do. They are lazy and are bringing others from the ranks of industry to become idlers and beggars." Now, the foregoing incidents are all authentic. The word or belief of the individual has not been relied upon, but we have gone behind the first statements and ascertained the truth as it is sustained by indubitable facts. Moreover, these are typical cases. There is no end to the lists that have been reported, and no end to human experiences in this line. One question alone remains, and that is, whence is this faculty? Is it a part of the operations of the conscious mind? If so, how is it that the mind must first be suspended in order for the thought to enter it by a channel, not among those that are ordinary? Let's read that again. Is it a part of the operations of the conscious mind? If so, how is it that the mind must first be suspended in order for the thought to enter it by a channel not among those that are ordinary? So it says that the mind must first be suspended. Thought transference is not what we have, or thought transference is not what we hear, see, feel, touch, smell, or taste, but what jumps into mind from some other source. Of course, it is admitted that the thought does get into the conscious mind, but it does not get there by any of the ordinary channels of communication. That being true, it must employ some other channel, and that we call the other mind. It makes no difference what the other mind is. The fact remains that any other channel that an ordinary one is to be called for the fact remains that any other channel than an ordinary one is to be called for the present of the other mind. And this will enable every one of our students to agree with us, and we with them. So any channel that is used is called the other mind. So that just moving forward. If these thoughts were not come into the conscious mind, then there would be no transference, nor would they be known. Before we go much further, we will show that they are always at hand, and that millions of other thoughts, ideas, events, and revelations are just as much present in the very self of every person, but they are not known because they are not transferred into the conscious mind. They cannot be known until they get into the conscious mind. The purpose, then, of this course of study and practice is to prepare the conscious mind that it will be able to receive and to recognize the knowledge that comes from the other mind. On the other hand, in order to know and understand and interpret the facts that will fill the other mind, and to do so without the aid of the conscious mind, there must be laws that apply solely to that realm, as they alone can deal with the psychic process.